the internet, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos like this or like my beauty tutorials or any of those things. Today's video is going to be a story time video, and I've never done one before, so bear with me. This video might be kind of rough, but I felt like I needed to make a video about what happened to me last Thursday. So if you want to see what happened, then go ahead and keep on watching. So, last Thursday I had cheer tryouts, and I was kind of nervous because I'm not the best tumbler. Let me just tell that right now. I suck at tumbling. Like, I'm really bad, but I love cheer, so I just kind of do it anyways, and I go to tumbling classes and I really try to tumble. Like, I promise you, ask any one of my friends, I'm at tumbling class every week trying to get tumbling skills, but it's like my body does not like to tumble. It just does not understand how to tumble. I have the weakest wrist and my arms are very weak as well, and it's not because like I'm weak, like I can't lift anything, it's just I don't know. They don't like the whole feeling of tumbling. So tumbling has always been a problem for me, and I also have the worst mental block on all kinds of tumbling. So that just puts tumbling in a not good spot for me. So I was kind of nervous for tryouts because my gym just got bought by a new gym, and these people didn't really know me that well, so I felt the pressure to prove that I was hardworking, and even though I'm not the best tumbler, that I do have strengths in other areas. We're just gonna back up to Wednesday. I went to tumbling on Wednesday before tryouts because I wanted to do some tumbling in because I hadn't been tumbling for like a week just because I had theater and other things. So I went to tumbling and I was working on my round off back handspring, and let me just say, this is my 4th season for cheer, and I do not have any skills besides a standing back handspring that is kind of janky and almost a punch front. Even then, that's like iffy. Like, so tumbling is not my strongest part, so I do go and work on it. So I was there and I was working on my round off back handspring. I was doing it onto a mat, and then I was doing it on the floor onto a 4-incher. And my tumbling coach was like, "You really need to throw this, like you can do it, I know you can." And I never got around to throwing it by the end of the practice and feeling confident enough, so I went into Thursday definitely very nervous about it. So we went through, we warmed up all of our tumbling, like cartwheels, roundouts, all of those things, and then it was time for us to do our pass that counted for tryout. So I hadn't tumbled with my round off back handspring on the floor in a very long time, like 5 months. I had always just been working on it on the tumble track or like onto a mat. I just never tried to do it on the floor, so I asked one of the coaches to spot me. He spotted me, and then it was basically my turn to go. So I went to do a round off back handspring, and I didn't throw it, and I got really mad at myself because I just get so invested and I get really frustrated when I know I can do something but my mind won't let me, which is basically most of my tumbling issues, that I know I can do the pass but my mind is just terrified. So I walked off and I was like really upset. I kind of started crying, and one of the coaches called me over and was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Like, we already put you down that you can have this skill. I saw you throw it into the mat. Like, I know you can do it." And so she was like, "It's not going to define what team you get on. Like, tumbling is not everything about cheer. It's about like stunning and all of those things too, and being a good athlete, and we see that you can do that." So I was like feeling better, but I was still like I need to throw this, because then I was starting to feel confident and that I really had to like prove myself. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll probably just bust, but as long as I throw it, then they'll know that I'm motivated. So it's my turn again, and I run. Everybody thinks I'm just doing a round off, but little do they know I'm about to whip out a round off back handspring. So I did a round off back handspring, and I landed, and it was good, but in the middle of my round off back handspring, as soon as my hands hit the ground for the back handspring, my arm, let me just try and give you a visualization. It's like, you know how when you're tumbling, your arm is gonna like either go out or it's gonna be straight. My arm went in. So it went this way but reverse. So it literally felt like my elbow went in and out of place and then back in where it was supposed to be. So I landed, it was good, and I fell to the ground and I started bawling. It is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Then again, I've never broken anything, never done anything like that, but it was literally the worst pain of my life. I started bawling. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, you just threw that." And then they're like, "Oh, she's on the ground." So here I am like crying. One of the coaches led me over to the side to go sit down, and I started icing it, and he was basically just asking me what happened, saying that I probably hyperextended my elbow in the middle of tumbling. And then I was like, well, at least I got the pass. And like my mascara was like underneath my eyes. I was like crying, but I was just like happy that I got this pass. So I was kind of like, oh, my tumbling coach is gonna be happy that I threw it like she told me to, but not happy that this happened. So I called my mom and I just waited for her to come pick me up because I did drive myself, but I was like, I cannot drive home in this condition. Straightening my arm was not happening. It hurt so bad. And so my mom showed up and was like, okay, we're going to the hospital. And I was like, the hospital? Like, no, like that's expensive. We can just stay at home and I'll just go like to the doctor in the morning, or like we can go to Care Now or like Rapid Med, like one of those like cheap hospital kind of things, you know? And she was like, no, we're going to the hospital. Like I talked to one of our friends who's a nurse, like this is where we're going. And so we drive to the hospital. I'm literally bawling in the car. My elbow hurts so bad. It's like my whole lower arm is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, like from my elbow all the way to my fingertips. And so we get to the hospital and we're waiting in the ER for about like 5 minutes until they pull me into a room. They just kind of ask me like how I heard it. I explain the whole story again, and then they just like take my blood pressure and my pulse, all of those things. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna do some x-rays. So we sit and we wait for literally what feels like forever, but it was probably only like 10 minutes. And then they bring in the x-ray thing and they take x-rays, and the guy moved my arm to make it straight so that they could see my elbow, and I just started bawling. It hurt so freaking bad. It was awful. I was ready to just like scream, but I didn't want to like scare the guy that was like doing my arm. So I just like let him take the x-ray, and then he left, and I was like, oh my God, Mom, that hurt so bad. And I was just like crying, and I had like ice packs on it, and it was so swollen. Literally the nurse was like, oh my God, your arm is so swollen. I was like, yeah, thanks, I know, lady. But so then we just kind of sit in our room and we wait to find out what is saying on the x-ray. And my coach is like texting me like, please, like keep me updated, like please tell me you're coming back. And I'm like, of course I'm coming back, like I love cheer. Just because of this, I'm not gonna quit. Like that doesn't scare me. And besides, like tumbling already scared me anyway, so one injury wasn't really gonna do much to hurt my mental things going on up here. I don't know what the word is. Like, I don't know, my thoughts. So then finally, literally 30 minutes later, the guy comes back and he's like, good news, it's not broken. Bad news, our x-ray is only 90% accurate, and around your elbow, it's very cloudy and we can't see whether there is a hairline fracture or not. So we're gonna splint you for 5 days and you're gonna wear a sling. And I was kind of like, okay, like whatever. And then like, you're gonna need to go to an orthopedic doctor and get an x-ray from them and find out if you have a hairline fracture or not. So I am like, okay, whatever. I finally get to go home after my arm is all bandaged up. Let me just show you what it looks like. Here's my sling. Here's my arm. Yep, it's awesome. Yep, love it. And this sling literally hurts so bad. It's literally giving my neck like it's rubbing it raw. And it has like foam to make it feel better, but it really does not feel better. So we finally leave the hospital. I'm at home. I'm on pain meds, so I'm super loopy, and they tell me like you can't go to school until Monday. It was Thursday, so I was just missing Friday of school. And I was like, okay, it's fine, but I was literally so loopy. My mom was dying laughing at me. I don't even remember some of the things I was saying, but the hydrocodone that they gave me, which was a very small amount, I'd never had it before, so it like greatly affected me, but I was not in pain, but I was definitely laughing like crazy. And so for the next few days, my mom just kind of took care of me. I just laid around. I was in a lot of pain. I was on anti-inflammatory medicine and like Tylenol as well. And the main problem for me was that I can't do anything for myself that I normally do. Like I can't do my hair. My mom has been like straightening my hair for me, washing it for me, blow drying it for me, curling it for me, literally being the best mom in the world, because she knows that it drives me nuts when my hair is natural and when I can't do anything to it. So I taught her how to use a curling wand during this whole process. But so that's kind of where I've been. Today I took off all of my wrap and everything because I wanted to see what my arm looked like, because I didn't think it was that bad. I was like, okay, it doesn't hurt that bad. Like it's probably just like a sprain and like bruise, like it's fine. And I took it off today, and next to my elbow I saw such a big bump. I will insert pictures, so if you don't want to see, then look away, but you can see the big bump and the yellow bruise all around it and all on the lower part of my elbow. So seeing those things was definitely a shock, and it does actually make me worried that I could have fractured my elbow, and if that happens, I'm going to be really upset, but I don't find out until Friday. But yeah, it's very gross, and at least my bruises are yellow. I feel like that's like a good sign that they're not like black or anything, you know, but it has been like 4-ish days. And I tried to drive with one arm to school. It was a little complicated. Everything that I do now takes so much longer, and it sucks. And then explaining to everyone the same story every day really sucks. So when they ask me what happened, I just say cheer tryouts. They're like, what about it? I'm just like, just cheer tryouts. Like, I've explained the story too much. So here's the full story on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my pain. I've never done anything like this that has like hurt this bad for this long, besides the time that I fractured 3 of my toes when I did a cartwheel into my sister's dresser, and I hobbled around all summer, and my mom didn't take me to the doctor because she didn't think I was hurt. So yeah, that happened. But that was my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and comment down below if you've ever broken anything, and give this a thumbs up if you want to see more like story videos. I don't know, I probably wasn't that good at it, and this might have been a boring story, but this is what happened, and I will see you guys in my next video. And basically that is why I haven't uploaded lately, because I've been super busy with theater because of my show. We're having rehearsals all the time because we open on Friday, and just like I was on such crazy pain meds all weekend that I just was not up to filming. I've just been kind of laying in bed, and I finally got myself up to film today after like being at school and stuff. So appreciate this video, okay guys? And that's really it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys! Don't stop. What is going on?